An intro. Um, uh, yeah, maybe I should start with poem. Roses are red, violets are blue. I downloaded these free games and played them, so you don't have to. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the brand new series where I essentially just download free games that I found on the internet. On this episode, it's going to be Steam, and I play them. You can go to the Steam store page, go to free to play, and there are hundreds, if not thousands, of games available for you to play at this moment for free. Not a single cent. But while you don't pay in monetary value, you do pay in storage space, because most of these games turn out to just be a waste of time. Like, I mean, honestly, they tend to just be a waste of space on your system, and you'll play them once, maybe, and then never again. So, in an effort to combat that, I decided to start a series where I go through those games and tell you which ones are worth downloading. That way you're not clogging up your library, clogging up your system storage. You know, why waste all that room and all that time and all that effort when someone else, some poor soul, can download it for you, play it for you, and let you know if it's actually worth your time. So the way I'm going to handle this is by doing 3 games at a time. That way you can get as many games in as possible, and I don't have to like make a separate episode for each game, since a lot of these honestly are like 5 minutes long or 10 minutes, 15. It's not enough to make its whole own video about. They're going to be short, they're going to be snappy, they're going to be quick, kind of first impressions. Now I should mention, this is not an in-depth review by any means. I have not fully completed all of these games. Some of them I have, but not every single game I've completed to like 100% completion and unlocked all of the unlockables and found all of the little achievements and all of the collectibles. But I'm going to give you my feedback. I'm going to give you what I think about the game, a little description rundown of what the game even is for that matter. And then I'm going to let you know if it's actually worth downloading. So yeah, let's just get right into it then. I mean, like, I don't know, am I supposed to rate that 3 stars? I fought a skeleton, a scorpion, and some barrels. Like, I don't know. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't like knocked my socks off. It was just, I don't know, it's fine. Now, the first game I played was Monolith. It is by Trickster Arts Games, also published by them. It has very positive reviews on Steam, and overall, it was a fine game. In the description, it says raid a gazillion handcrafted dungeons, collect loot and creature cards, and build your own dungeons for others. Monolith is a fantasy mobile ARPG, CCG, and dungeon builder in a single package. Build dungeons, share them with your followers, gear up heroes, and clear levels built by your friends. And honestly, that's pretty much what it is. It's kind of that click style movement kind of game. Very simple combat. You literally just click on a target and go. It kind of does it for you automatically. Same with loot. But one thing I should mention is the loot system in this game is not my favorite. Of course, it's this sort of pack system and all smoke and mirrors loot box. I mean, that's really what it is. They also have a store where you can go ahead and purchase the currency used to actually buy these things. Alright, we got some packs. Oh no. Packs? It's gonna be some loot box shit, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that is exactly what it is. It's this loot box shit. I like how in the tutorial they teach you to buy packs. That's super cool. That's super fun. I love that. Love that, dude. That's annoying. I hate this kind of stuff. I just fought one of those. What am I unlocking exactly? So the rest of the shop, you can get 2 packs for $3. That's $1.50 for a pack. And you got 7 packs for 10, 15 for 20, 40 for 50, and 60 for 70. Now, granted, this game was free, so I see it from that aspect of if you want to support the developers and you want to support this smaller-ish team, that's one way of doing it, is by supporting them through buying the cosmetics, as well as items in the game. Otherwise, the game's fine. The actual content of this game is mostly built by other players, which is interesting, and that fosters creativity. And as long as you keep the game open, the community will always be pumping out new levels, and that's something. There is longevity to this, but it can be hit or miss, right? Because not everybody is just amazing at making their own levels. I mean, I made a level and it was mediocre, not even at best. It was terrible. It was a terrible level. And it's because I'm just not great. Flabberland. Oop, I almost just booked it. Hell yeah. Alright, well, that was it. I mean, if you want to play my level, it's Flabberland, right? I mean, you know how to get to it, I guess. You can have that happen where you can play a level where you literally kill 1 or 2 enemies and then it's over, right? Because it's just not this huge fleshed out thing. I hit the mic. It's just not this huge fleshed out thing, and it really depends on who made the level. And so because of that, your experience can really waver, right? You might have some missions, shards, whatever they call them, that are super duper fun and engaging and really cool, and there's other ones that are just kind of boring and lackluster and just mediocre. So that's kind of like the pros and cons of this style, and ultimately it was fine. I'd say by the end of the night it was one of my least favorite games that I played, just simply because the combat wasn't engaging. The gameplay really wasn't engaging. The only thing that looked somewhat fun was creating the levels, but actually playing the levels I didn't really look forward to. And I feel like that's a huge problem when that is legitimately half of the game. So I don't have a rating system figured out, so we'll just say out of 10. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. I'll give it a 4 out of 10 because the game has pretty decent visuals. The art style is simplistic, but it does the job. It's not like horrifically ugly or anything. It just wasn't my favorite game. It could be a 5, but I really do not like the microtransactions store system. Again, I know that's my personal beef. I know, so take that with a grain of salt. But I mean, again, I really did not care for the combat. I didn't care much for the actual gameplay. It's close to a 3, but I'll keep it at a 4. It's not working. It just reoccurred to me that this is a horror game, and I gave it the goosebumps. Night in River Rager, Night in Riverager. That can't be it. It's Riverager. Okay, Night in Riverager. This was a game developed by 2 Star Games, and it was published by V Publishing. And as the description says, A Night in Riverager is a free horror short set in the monochrome world of My Beautiful Paper Smile. It tells the tale of a strange hunter in an even stranger land. On a quest to find medicine for his ailing mother, strange and powerful forces are stirring. Can he resist them? The horror short, the first thing that stood out to me was the art style. I really, really dug it. It creates this super detailed kind of like atmosphere, and it's that hand drawn look. The moonlight looks like it's just like scribbles in the sky. It's such a unique art style that I haven't seen in a game before, and really struck me as engaging. Like, honestly, if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have been as interested as I was, because it was such a unique art style. It was really cool. It was really neat. So that was first thing. Gotta give props there. Now, this one actually specifically was a little bit different in the terms that it was short. When they say a short story, it is so short. The game is legitimately like 10 minutes. It took me like 10 minutes. And that was with me kind of like fucking around and like, oh, I don't know how to do this puzzle, and just wasting time. And even then, it took me like 15 minutes. It is short. And that kind of just ruins no momentum is able to be built. They constantly play this like low bass sort of like scary tone, right? Like it's that like build up, but nothing really happens, right? I mean, there's like a little, I don't know if it's even a jump scare, but you notice something run across the screen, and then you come face to face with it, but it's not a scary design. Honestly, I was more intimidated by the main character, like how they physically looked, than what I was supposed to be afraid of, like the little monster or whatever it was. It just didn't look scary, to be honest. It just looked like a kid in a costume, because you have your intro part, and then you go to this little like level with a puzzle, and then once you finish that, it's like a home part, which is pretty similar to the first part, and that's it. Now I'm glitched. My biggest issue with the game is how short it is. And if anything, that's a good thing, right? I mean, because that means that I wanted more. I wanted to engage with it even more. And I get that this is part of a universe of a different game, and you can go there and do that. But it feels like this is more of like a promo or a demo than a game. The scare factor, I mean, I got goosebumps at a certain point. But, I mean, besides that one time, that was it. And that's because I couldn't see the character design super well of the monster. And then once I could see the monster, I wasn't afraid. That's a problem. So, I liked this one more than Monolith. I had more fun playing it. It was too short, and I felt that the enemy monster design was really, really lackluster. But the art design was beautiful. It's really atmospheric in general. And honestly, I can tell a very, very loved project by the developer. So props, kudos to them. This is free, right? I mean, I'm being ungrateful here, but it was free, right? So I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7. The gameplay wasn't super duper fun to give it an 8 for me. So we'll say it's a strong 7, and we'll leave it there. Gotta look around. Oh, that's a problem. That is a problem. I mean, I got something. That's not fair. Hey, good play. Okay. I don't think we got their teammates though. There's a lot of people here. Okay. And the last game that I played was Code 2040. Now, the description of this one says that Code 2040 is a teamwork-focused multiplayer online shooting/battle royale game with 3 people as a team. The story goes as such. In the year of 2040, when energy is extremely scarce, you must adventure into the outside to explore new energy sources, accomplish the mission, and return safely. weirdly enough, reading that just now, I didn't read this before. This is the first time I'm reading it. Is really surprising because I did not get any of that from the actual game. Nor does it mention that there's like monsters in the game. There's a giant like colossal god thing as well. None of it really gets talked about too much. There seems to be a lot of lore that isn't talked about, and I don't know if that's because it's like supposed to be like deep lore that you gotta like find stuff, like there's a radio playing somewhere that if you listen really close it explains what's going on, or if the developers just didn't care, you know, or there is nothing, you know, I don't know. Anyways, it was developed, speaking of which, it was developed by Wanen Games, specifically Team Weaver. It has mixed reviews on Steam, and I understand why. Admittedly, when I saw this game, I saw the screenshots and I saw the trailer, and this was the game that I was most excited for. It looked the most well polished. It looked like it had the most funding behind it. Like it looked like a AAA title game, you know. And if you haven't noticed, all of these games are really, really new. It literally came out this month, like a couple days ago. So, you know, I really thought that I was stumbling upon something great and that I would be able to just be like, hey guys, you gotta check this thing out. Like, it's gonna be the next big thing. It's gonna be the Fortnite killer and whatnot. And I'm really disappointed to say it's not. It really is not. Don't get tempted by the price tag. Free is free, I get that. But it's not the best. The combat, the gameplay, very bare bones. It is legitimately the most like copy and paste vanilla gameplay I've ever played. If you've played any battle royale, it's the exact same. Like it doesn't feel unique. It fails to feel special in any way. There isn't this like cool gimmick or something that makes it stand out from the rest of the battle royales. And therefore, it just blunders, you know? There aren't these like, you know, there aren't interesting characters with specific abilities. There aren't any kind of deep combat systems or anything like that. It is very much so bare bones, generic gameplay with generic characters that you can customize with money, of course. So we have these like RD coins. How much do you think these RD coins are gonna be? So let's just look at a set, right? Or yeah, let's just look at one of the first sets. You have the busy cowboy. $16. So in reality, that's the actual set's like what, $15, $14? 13? Let's say $13. That's insane, dude. That's insane. $13 for an armor set? It is such a generic battle royale, and that makes it so boring. It is genuinely a slog fest to get through. I had no fucking clue what was happening. The way that they do it is that you have to like activate a station and you have to hold that, and then you have to go to a different station, and then you can teleport and win the game. Huh? Come on, come on. Press and hold the computer for 10 seconds to achieve victory. Yo! I think we just won. Amen. Dude! I just won my first game. Holy shit. And while I was super excited that I won, and that made me slightly like the game more, it was really boring. The entire time I played, I ran into one person that wasn't my teammate. And so it seems that the way they try to combat that is by having these NPC like monster things spawn. It does not stand out. It doesn't have any charm to it, right? At least River Rager, River whatever had it had that, you know, it stuck out. It's something that I am going to remember. It was unique, and it had character to it. This game does not have that. Code 2040 has no character to it. It is just a bland copy of a game that you've played 100 times already. Don't bother downloading it. Again, this is my opinion. That's it. That is the first episode, the first installment of this series. And I think as long as it performs okay, and just really what matters is that if people want more of it, I will do more. You know, and if you have recommendations that you see on Steam, it's free to play, and you're like, man, I don't know if I wanna put that on my computer, if I wanna throw that in my library, let me know. All right, write it down in the comments, give me your suggestions, and I'll throw them in a video, and I'll let you know what I think of it. I'll review it, and I'll tell you whether or not it is worth downloading.